Welcome to your rest of 2025 Angel and Tarot reading. It's a duo reading. Welcome back to my good friend and highly intuitive Chris Reck from Minnow Pond Tarot. Hey, Chris.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? I look
I'm
forward
doing
to
well.
these every time.
Me
Great,
too.
great to hear. And it feels like it was just yesterday actually that we got to do our
Yes.
next 3 months one. I feel like it's just time is going by quickly. Doesn't it feel that way to you?
Yeah, super weird. Like I feel like we just did it. I feel like I can't believe that it's already the that it's already June
End of,
25th apparently. Look at the
end of,
date.
yeah,
See what it was.
end
But
of
I can't
June.
believe it. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was like we were talking about the zoo, and it's almost exactly 1 month ago. I was at the zoo with my brother, and
oh,
'cause we've never been to the zoo here, and but it's weird because like I feel like it was yesterday. Like I literally feel like we were
we're
just
just,
there.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because we've
yeah,
been kind of on a calendar of doing this the last week of the month, just this way it's
yeah.
worked out with our schedule. And yeah, before we came on air, you guys, we were talking about how our dreams have been off the chart. And
Yeah.
I actually had a dream the other night that Chris was in town and we were going to the zoo and we were laughing and we were talking up. And then you just told me I didn't even know you'd just been to the zoo. So
I just went.
I couldn't remember what was going on in the dream other than we were trying to find a studio to do a live and we
Oh,
stopped by
right.
the
Yeah.
zoo. And I remember you saying, what's so great about the zoo? And I was like, well, and then we were just, it was hilarious. So you guys got to let us know in the comments, are your dreams even more off the charts than last month? What about you, Chris?
Yeah, I've had like crazy dreams. Can't remember a lot of them, but like I had a dream the other day. The only dreams I pay attention to are ones that like aren't connected to my day. Like most of my
Hmm.
dreams are things that I've already that happened during the day, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I had this dream. I love fish, obviously, and I had this dream that I like was renting out a warehouse so I could put like a million fish tanks in there and like create like a gallery of fish tanks. Right, that was my dream. The crazy one that I had the other night.
That's a pretty fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just in Sedona with my husband a couple weeks ago, and we always visit the crystal shops and look around. And my husband, being a Taurus, he'll like find the crystals that are supposed to go home with us like right away. We don't really have to spend a lot of time browsing. And I brought home just two small ones, put them next to my nightstand the night we got them. And I've been sleeping next to them even now that we're home. And my dreams have just been next level, detail, clarity. Just, I mean, they tend to be clear too, but I'm like you, if it represents a, Netflix series I was binging, then I'm like, I don't really think there was a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
meaning there.
Yeah.
But I have had some really fun dreams, like where I'm just laughing a lot, but I can't
Mm.
really remember why it was so funny. So that's actually feels like a healthy thing, I would think. So,
Yeah, I think that's good.
but definitely write down your dreams that you're getting right now, you guys, because when Uranus moves into Gemini on July
Yeah.
4th, it's going to be a big shift. I asked you about this last month. Do you want to tell everybody kind of what you said again? I thought it was really, great insight to it.
Yeah, I said that it was going to be like Severance, the TV show
Mm-hmm.
Severance, and I think they're going to be, I think we've already been in the splitting of the two worlds, but maybe now is when people have to decide like what world they want to live in. It's like I think a lot of people also, well, it's kind of not to bring up politics again, but it's not like politics, right? But
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying is, it's like funny that with things like politics, people are this side, or whatever. But it's like, what if you could just be in a world where you just choose what you want instead of being like, it has to be this way or that way, right?
Right.
And I think those are the choices maybe people are going to start to make, you know?
I agree. I'm hoping that, we keep hearing about this big collective waking up, that more and more
Mm,
people are coming online with consciousness. And I feel like the key thing to remember too with it is to go a lot higher with our thoughts about it.
mm.
Like you said, it's like, it doesn't have to be this way. It can be the way I want it to be, which is kind of
Yeah.
like what we all talk about it, but it feels like it's becoming a much bigger conversation. You're hearing about it in the mainstream versus just in your little spiritual communities. Don't you think?
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, and a red wasp just landed on my window to stare at us
Uh-oh.
through this broadcast. So we were talking about that too before we came online. I had this huge cicada, annual cicada, glaring at me through the window this morning when I was working out, and I was like, "What does that mean?" And I looked it up. It was like transformation. And I told Chris, I think almost all of the spirit animal meanings at least start with transformation, right?
Yeah, everyone.
So because we're all going through this huge transformation, and we were talking last month about Saturn and Neptune moving into Aries, right? Well, that's currently squaring Jupiter in Cancer because Jupiter's in Cancer now. So it's still a little crunchy. You know, it's not as, I don't think we're going to start to feel a lot of the benefits of Jupiter in Cancer until it moves a little bit past that square, don't you think?
Yeah, I think it was like the 18th was exact. So, yeah. And, you know, so maybe like, you know, I don't know, like another week.
Yeah. Probably
around there.
right around the time we get out of Cancer season, we've like ridden the waves and we're moving into, because we do have some retrogrades coming up. We have Neptune and Mercury retrograde on the 17th. And then there was one other, Chiron retrogrades. And maybe Saturn. I don't know when Saturn retrogrades, but I feel like it's
Saturn
coming up.
Definitely. Yeah, it is coming up, but I can't remember the date on that.
Me either. I normally glance at that before I go live, but
it goes direct in February, right? Or am I thinking Neptune?
You know what? I don't know.
Neptune is January 26th, and then Saturn is February something.
Okay.
I can't remember.
All right. Well, and anybody who knows in the comments, let us know. Speaking of letting us know in the comments, we wanted to do something fun because we know all of you watching this are highly intuitive too. So as always, we're going to go through all 12 signs. We're going to be talking about the rest of 2025, starting with Aries all the way through Pisces. At the end, we'll do a bonus collective reading for everybody about the next 6 months. But we thought it would be fun to see if you wanted to play a little game with us and see if you can guess. We're going to pull a random card. 1 or 2 cards, Chris? Just one?
Sure. Well, you said 2, and I like numbers. I like more. So let's do 2.
We'll each pick 2 cards, and randomly, we won't look at them, and we want to know what you think these 2 cards are. So, okay, first Chris, those are Chris's 2 cards.
They spoke to me right away. So,
and these are my 2 cards.
Yeah,
popped right out the top. So we want to know if you know what these cards are. Put it in the comments below. We will reveal that at the end with the bonus collective, because we know you are all out there with your own intuitive abilities, and that's what makes these lives so fun, because we're all coming together, right?
That's right.
I love it. So anything else that you're feeling for just, the overall energy for us to be aware of before we pop in?
Not really. I think one thing that I will mention that I thought was weird is like I kept getting the devil for July, so I've been telling people to just be careful of like toxic things, but like it doesn't feel like a big deal to me. It feels more like avoid any things that are toxic. Obviously, I mean the devil is an energy vampire, so I think people should maybe be more careful of that. Specifically in July, like things that steal your energy. It doesn't have to be a person. It could be a person, place, or a thing, like something you do, a TV show. It could be music you listen to, right? And so it just seems like it might be a good time for people to just pay a little extra attention to that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Your July readings come out this weekend, right? They're already out.
No, they're out. Yeah,
they came out last weekend, right?
Last weekend.
I was trying to remember which one. I did my July readings yesterday, and for each sign, I got the wheel a bunch. So what? I've asked you about the wheel before, and again, it's like transformation. Things are moving, but like what else? Like, what's your kind of keywords around the wheel card?
My thing with Wheel of Fortune is a very good card, but it's I think it gets like people make it out to be better than it is, because it requires our action. It is your destiny how you see it, which is different than what your destiny, if you believe in that, is actually meant to be, right? So it is Wheel of Fortune is specifically your personal vision for your life. It is your vision though, so you have to take control of the wheel and do things to get it to spin forward. And most people just get tossed around the wheel all over the place, and so that's how I see it.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. So the devil and the wheel were really popping up a lot for July between the two of us for all signs. Not every sign got the wheel, but it is interesting. So think about that as we get started. Obviously, last month, since we did we did the next 3 months, these are adding to that because we're doing the rest. Somebody asked me that. They're like, well, what does that mean if you already did the next 3 months? Are we talking about the 3 months after that? I'm like, no. We're just adding to the clarity for the rest of 2025 because as you and I've talked about, it didn't really feel like it started till June anyways, right?
Yeah, anyway. Yeah, the year didn't, I mean, I said that in my yearly reading, said the year didn't start till June, isn't going to start till June. So,
and it genuinely felt that way. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, then how about we get started with the Aries? Does that sound good?
Let's do it.
All right.
Aries, are you ready? Or no? Maybe?
Yes, I'm ready. Aries. What do you have for the Aries for the rest of 2025?
Aries, you have the Ten of Cups, Ten of Swords, and the Hermit. So the Ten of Cups that I dropped there is fortune after difficulty, something good happening after a difficult period of time. I kind of feel for Aries, like the faster you can release things that no longer serve you with that Ten of Swords, the better. He is dead. His situation is dead, done, over with. So he has to make his change right now. And then you have the Hermit. It's like, it's kind of weird energy. It's like 10 of Cups, very good things. 10 of Swords, something being dead. It's like, with the Hermit, it's like you've been through something difficult and now you have to get your reward instead of like staying in this energy right here, Aries. So, that I feel like it's like releasing. I don't even want to say releasing the struggle. I would say releasing the pain, right? Is kind of what I feel for Aries.
Yeah. Okay. I got the High Priestess card here for Aries, the World card, which was actually that was another card that popped up quite a bit yesterday for July, and then Parental Care. And one of the things that I've been getting overall with Aries a lot over the last couple months is needing to bring others with you on your journey. You're really full of passion, you're really full of energy. You charge it, you see what you want, you go get it. But actually, a lot of people are going to rely on your intuition and your abilities as we see this big change in the world. And the parental care thing is again, it's the same thing. Like, you might need to wait for your family to catch up with you and your ideas. You might need your tribe to, maybe you're expressing like, these are the things we need to go do. And before you just run off and do them, give your surrounding people a chance to be like, okay, let me ask some questions first before we go, but we'll go with you. But can you clarify? That's what it feels like with the Aries. And I know that like Aries like to just go do. It's like, why do I have to explain this? I'm already telling you this is what we need to do, right? But I do feel like, whether you're a parent to children or whether you have parents that you care for, or it's just people in your community, they're looking up to you for the rest of the year. So again, with this World card here, I feel like, basically your Aries are going to be seen. People are going to be looking at you differently than they ever have before. And it's going to feel like you're even more on the stage. So what do you get for the World card, and what is kind of your keywords there in these other cards you see here?
Yeah. I mean, I think you touched on a lot for Aries that I say, like them being seen by the world. I think of like the Hermit. The negative of the Hermit is a South Node in Virgo, and so the thing, we have the South Node in Virgo right now, and the negative of it is like having been hurt in a past life and escaping to the mountain, and so like people with South Node in Virgo that are born with South Node in Virgo, it's like their past life they can have like escape from society for some reason. Usually they were either hurt by a person or by they shared their beliefs and people made fun of them or whatever. And the trick with the Hermit when we were talking on like that side of the scale is to come down from the mountain, right? So Aries has to be seen. I think that's what you were saying. So
yeah, absolutely. Yes. And allowing other people to see you by bringing them with you too, Yeah. So I think that'll be really beneficial for Aries. All right. Yeah, lost the mouse again like we did. Like I thought I had it, and then now all my screens are moving all over the place. We're going to get Aries back on here. I mean, sorry, Taurus. Just a minute. Sorry about this, you guys.
So close.
So close. There we go.
We're back.
All right, so publishing this real quickly so people can see it. There we go. All right, sorry, Tauruses. Thank you for being patient.
Taurus, you have very good cards. You have the King of Cups, the Star, and the Nine of Cups. So definitely could be some sort of wish fulfillment with these three. I mean, for the next 6 months, for the rest of the year, it's like your emotions could be the thing that really does shape your reality in a bigger way with the King of Cups. He has very deep emotions. He explores his emotions. But the trick with him is to not get to not drown in your emotions. So make sure you're also expressing your emotions. Although, again, I think that you could be having very positive emotions, really good things happening. I kind of do feel that for Taurus. Like I can't even explain that feeling, but it's like just good things. It's like I think there could be a collection of little good things that happen between now and the end of the year. Like you get a raise, you go on a date with a person who's good. Like a bunch of little things is that's kind of what I'm getting with these two cards, and I feel like it's good. It's like those little things add up.
Yeah, definitely. For Tauruses, I was getting the Queen of Air, the Emperor, and the butterfly card was hobbies. And I do feel like actually a lot of this is Tauruses have been learning how to take the things that they love and turn them into something that is work for them, like good work they want to do. And that's actually what you're supposed to be doing with this, like something that you used to do for fun. You're turning it into something that is creative. You're using it for communication, and people are seeing you as taking these things that might have used to seem kind of silly to do, and you're doing this practical application to it. Because I have this Emperor card here too, so you're showing the way that you're using your organization skills to do it. So I don't know, I'm getting like the image of like maybe you've always enjoyed knitting and now you're making money with a YouTube channel teaching how to knit there, you know what I mean? And then with the hobbies card here, the same thing. It's like, what are some other things that you could implement for the rest of the year that you enjoy doing that can also help you with moving forward with the work you're doing? Now, of course, if you're retired, this could be your legacy. This could be something you're passing down to grandchildren or to the community. So it could be that you are starting a group locally and you're helping other people learn to do something you love. But I do think that people are really going to be looking to Tauruses to see how are they implementing these things, because you're such great manifestors. And I think people are going to say, how are they getting this done and doing it the way they want? So anything else coming up for you with Queen of Air and Emperor?
Yeah, I mean, that would be like the star, so like they are being their own little star. I mean, I say to Taurus all the time as well with the, with Uranus in their sign, it's like freedom. I think Uranus and Taurus craves freedom, or like tries to get people to build and leave a legacy or to create more freedom in their life. So that's probably, I say this all the time, that's what you're doing. So yes.
All right, good. That looks really good for Tauruses. So get started. We had a new moon. We forgot to talk about that. We had a new moon.
Oh, we didn't
apex.
even talk about that.
I know.
Yeah.
This morning at Apex. So everybody, you guys start planting those seeds, because 6 months from now, we're at the opposing the new moon in Cancer. You're going to want to see things growing. It'll be really good. All right. So moving on to the Geminis. What are we getting for the Geminis?
Gemini, you show up as yourself, the Lovers, the Four of Swords, and the Three of Wands. Could definitely be love. You had love in your. I did your reading this morning for next week, and you had a ton of love cards in it. So even though this is you, could also be love. You have the Four of Swords and the Three of Wands, and I'm pretty sure this is what I said to you, Gemini. I can't remember now if it was you or Libra, but I'm pretty sure it was you. I was saying, like, you have to prepare yourself for something that is like a big opportunity, and that's kind of what this looks like. Four of Swords, like you're resting, relaxing, and recovering. Three of Wands would be going somewhere you've never been before, doing something you've never done before. So I think you need to prepare for like a big opportunity here. It's like, it felt very random to me in your reading. Like, it could be like, you have a job, maybe you're not looking for one. I think this is the example I used. And it's like, maybe a friend is like, hey, I have this job that'll pay you like $1 million a year or something crazy. Like, I'm not saying it's that much, but it's like something where you never thought you would do it, but you're about to. That's what I get for Gemini.
That makes a lot of sense, because I got the Three of Earth card here, the Two of Water, and the Changing Your Minds card, which Gemini. Well, for the Three of Earth, what I was hearing too, and it was similar to what you're saying, it's like there's going to be an opportunity coming in for you, but it's actually going to be an opportunity to be a team player, to collaborate. I think it's going to be a little surprising for you, and you have to decide on who and what you want to collaborate with in order for you to move forward with it. It's like the Changing Your Mind card is like, oh, do I want to collaborate? Or do I want to just do it myself? And the energy is really set up really for all 12 signs to collaborate. There's a lot of opportunity for collaboration here. And this Two of Water card again makes me feel like it could be new love coming in for Geminis, but you have to decide you want the new love. I'm feeling like for a lot of Geminis, it's more around these new partners coming in. But you have to decide you're open to it. It's like it's almost like you haven't decided if you want to be independent or you want to work, and it's like you can do both. You really can do both. So anything else coming up for you with the Three of Earth and Two of Water there?
Yeah, and so it could be love, but the Three of Wands is like something very different, and maybe that's what is going on here. Like, if it is love, maybe it's like something very different than you're used to. If it is an opportunity, it'll be very different. So like, I would get comfortable with change. I don't really think Gemini has a problem with change that much, but sometimes,
Yeah, I agree. I think they're really adaptable and charismatic, but then it also, like, sometimes you have to almost be surface level with some of the people in your life, otherwise they get too attached, and so it's just like you're needing to to really, show others you're willing to put the energy in is what I feel like with this card. So yeah, but I mean, there's an opportunity for that, and again, starting with the new moon today. So let's get started, Geminis. All right. What are you getting for the rest of the year for the Cancers? Happy birthday, Cancers.
Happy birthday, Cancer. Cancer, busy, 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 I think. You have the Two of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune, Devon's favorite card now, and the Emperor. So the Two of Pentacles is just busyness. I think that, I said that to everyone that in July, that I felt like July was really where things get really, really busy for people. So I think you're like working hard, putting a lot of work into stuff. That's it. Wheel of Fortune, I think you want change with the Wheel of Fortune. It's like, that things can be better. It's almost like you're getting a taste of something better. It's like, I always use that example of, you see those viral videos of like babies trying like ketchup or chocolate for the first time and they like freak out and they're like, oh my God. That's like what I feel for Cancer. It's like you're tasting something, maybe not literally. It could be like an experience you're having or something you're doing where you're like, oh my God, I need more of this. And that would be very good, because Emperor is like taking control of, whatever that is. So you are creating like more goodness in your life.
Oh, wow. Well, of course, I hadn't even picked my card when you said it was my favorite card, but the wheel.
The wheel. There you go.
2 wheels for Cancers here. So absolutely. I think things are changing because you're deciding they're changing. You're deciding, I am going to make this a success, whether it's a successful relationship, a successful new creative project. You are choosing this. And I am also with this 3 of Air card. I've been seeing the 3 of Air card pop up too, Chris. And I know you don't always see it necessarily as a bad card like a lot of other readers do, but it's almost like the thing that is really pushing you forward with this healing is going on that adventure, because that's another energy I've been seeing a lot. And then of course I also got the butterfly card is healing from the past, which I think just speaks to this 3 of Air card here, right? Is basically saying there's still some stuff that Cancers are purging, but one of the best ways to do that is just push forward with new things that you're doing and take some risks, obviously listen to your intuition. But I feel like being vulnerable is a thing Cancers don't like to do. I mean, I can say that as a Cancer sun sign. We have our armor on, and sometimes we're too quick to go back into our shell. So if you can try to break out of your shell between now and the end of the year, when we get to that new moon in Capricorn, your opposite sign, you're going to really see some benefits there. Anything else coming up for you with the 3 of Air and the wheel? You already said that.
Yeah, he has his armor on under his cloak, so needing to release that armor. I mean, the armor on the Emperor is good because it basically says whenever an opportunity presents itself that he will take it, but there might be something there, releasing the armor.
Yeah, I think that's a really good thing to do, because also, whenever we go through a cycle with our birthday season, it's almost like your new year. So Cancers, we're sitting here talking about the beginning of your new year. So yeah. And we will be doing that as well for Leo, since we'll be moving in. Oop, that's Virgo. Hang on. I clicked on Virgo. So for Leos, we'll be moving into your birthday season very soon. Happy birthday, Leos. What do you get for the rest of 2025 for Leos?
Leo, you have the High Priestess, 6 of Wands, and 2 of Swords. High Priestess, definitely a very intuitive. Leo always gets these crazy intuitive cards, so... I think Leo is like one of the most underestimated intuitive, so I would trust your intuition here and potential, right? I mean, High Priestess, you have to believe that you can actually do something bigger than yourself. So and that Leo always gets the High Priestess with me. 6 of Wands, 2 of Swords, like could be a lot of successes coming in for you. But it's like, the 2 of Swords is doing it unapologetically. It is like not negotiating with yourself. If you're saying that you're going to go accomplish a thing, it says don't settle for less. So this really wants you to go all the way here, Leo. And that's kind of what I get for Leo.
Okay. I've got the 5 of Earth card here. The Empress card. And the butterfly card is self-care, which actually that is something that I've seen for Leos quite a bit as well lately. Just making sure you're nurturing yourself before you're giving your heart away too quickly. But for the 5 of Earth card, this has actually kind of been a theme I felt like with the Leos. It's like I feel like, in the past year, maybe, this time last year, you guys tried something and it didn't quite go the way you wanted it to go. It didn't really, I feel like maybe you moved to a new location. It wasn't as nice as you thought it was going to be, or you tried a new, something for your business or something, and it wasn't rolling. It could even have been a relationship, but you're getting an opportunity to try it again, I feel like. And I like how you always talk about this card, like you just have to remember that there is help available. You don't have to stay stuck in this energy. So ask your team, ask your spiritual team for loud and clear signs, and make sure you're taking that time for yourself to really get clear on what you want. And of course, this Empress card that's why I'm saying I think you have this opportunity. It says creation, abundance, action, but you do have to actually put the action in of trying again. So I do feel like they're trying something again, Chris, and I don't know if that's coming up for you at all, but it's going to be better this time.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, I think Leo could be trying something again, but they have to like do it in a different way. With the Two of Swords, like she is only seeing two solutions, but there's like something else.
There's something else.
There's something else behind her that she could make that, would make whatever she's trying to do work.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And maybe part of what's different is they're putting a lot more self-care into how they're doing it instead of just running out and taking the first thing that appeals to them. You know what I mean? It's like really taking your time with it. All right. Well, let us know what new things you're doing, Leos. Love it. All right. Moving on to the Virgos. What do you get for Virgos for the rest of 2025?
Virgo, you have the Four of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, probably focusing on your financial stability just in general. Four of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles can be holding on too tightly to something. King of Pentacles is convention, like he does things the same way over and over and over again. And so I would experiment with new ideas here, Virgo, especially in work or business or, anything that you're working on that has to do with your finances. I would be trying new things with this card. But other than that, I think this looks good for money. And for, definitely with the King of Pentacles, using your skills to make money. Like if you have developed any new skills, that could be where the money is coming from.
Yeah, I've been getting that a lot for Virgos too. And they have the Seven of Earth card here, the Eight of Water, and the Butterfly card is End of an Era. I've actually gotten that energy for Virgos a lot. You've gone through so much. Of course, you have the North Node in Pisces, the South Node in your sign, Virgo. So yeah, you're kind of wrapping up things from the past. Things are changing, things are shifting. But I really feel like the Seven of Earth card is just letting you know you've been so diligent about planting your seeds, about thinking about what you want, about planning. And it's time, I feel like, for you to go get the emotional fulfillment out of that. It's almost like if you do any more planning, if you do any more organizing, you might fall out of love with the project or where you're going. So you don't want to over plan, which I know is not easy for Virgos, but that's one of the big energies I've been getting for them lately is just being willing to throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks and not let the perfection side of it get in the way of actually hitting go on whatever it is that they're trying to do. And that's why I feel like the End of the Era card too is maybe that's something that you're realizing is, holding you back, and you're overcoming that in a bigger way. I feel like by the end of this year, you're going to look back and say, wow, I'm so glad I started that project when I did. So new moon today, get started, Virgos. What else are you getting for this energy?
I mean, that is the South Node Virgo. It's like Virgo has to be messy. I mean, so
yeah.
I think that Virgo has to be willing to do things without things being perfect. So
yeah. Yep. There's your validation there.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. Moving on to the Libras. What do you have for the rest of 2025 for Libras?
Libra, you have like the Eight of Cups. We had do we have a Libra eclipse coming up? Or what am I thinking of?
I don't, it'll be in Virgo and Pisces, I think.
Virgo and Pisces, right?
Yeah,
but we did have the Libra eclipses
last year. Yeah.
Right. So, I think you need to think back to like last year, Libra, and you have the Eight of Cups, Page of Swords, and the Hangman. With this Eight of Cups, this is the only card with an eclipse on it, but it's like it specifically popped into my head as your eclipse, which that was the last one. And there's something for you around that time, so you might want to think back. And you have the Page of Swords, which actually, if you on the table, he would be looking over to that Eight of Cups, and he's like a detective. He really looks into things and explores like reasons why things happened or why he went through things. But then you have the Hangman. Weirdly enough, I feel like you have healed from something. That's not really what the Hangman means, but he gets to a certain point where he's gained enlightenment. And healing, I mean, I guess that could be an enlightenment in some way. So I don't know. It's like you're setting yourself free from something or moving past something. That's what I feel for Libra.
Yeah, that makes sense because I have the life experience card, which is the Tower card in tarot, as well as the Five of Earth card here. And then the butterfly card is religion and spirituality. And I feel like actually, like, first my eyes were drawn to the Five of Earth because, like you said, I think they're moving past that. I think you've been feeling like you were stuck in your material resources. And I think this life experience, while it might have been just hugely transformational, like you said, with those eclipses, now you're kind of recovering. It's like you had that breakdown to breakthrough moment and you've been recovering over the past year. And now you're finally getting your momentum back. The key thing for you is going to just figure out what were the spiritual lessons of that breakdown to breakthrough, and make sure you're carrying that through, because I've been getting so much change for Libra, and I've been feeling like they just have been waiting and waiting and waiting for the breakthrough they think they want, but it's like they already had the breakthrough. Now they have to use what they learned from it, especially the spiritual lessons, and go out and share those with the world so the rest of the world can learn from them. So did anything else come up for you for those Tower card and Five of Earth?
It's like, this is knowledge and wisdom. He's hanging from the tree of knowledge and wisdom to gain knowledge and wisdom, but he's gained it. He's ready. He's ready to move forward, but he's still stuck. He's still hanging from the tree.
Yeah.
So he has to move forward. So yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. Perfect for the Libras. Scorpio, what are you getting for the Scorpios for the rest of 2025?
Scorpio, you have the Seven of Swords, the Death card, and the King of Swords. I think that Scorpio has to move in new ways, really. It's like Seven of Swords, yeah, sure, it could be lying, cheating, stealing, but that's not really what we see here anyway. And Seven of Swords, golden card, and it represents kind of like doing things in a different way. He's stealing swords from that army in the background. You have the Death card, which is you, showing up in a very strong position. And King of Swords is also knowledge and wisdom, but he is also change. He has these butterflies, speaking of butterflies, behind him. And so the Death card is also change. I think you're making a big change, but the Seven of Swords is saying, like, you can't change the same way that you've always changed. You know, that it's like this is looking at habits. It reminds me of, like, I used to work with a kid who never gave his 2 weeks, and then when I was working with him, he gave his 2 weeks, right, at this place. It's like he changed the way he ended things, and then his life changed. And that's what I'm getting for you here, Scorpio. It's like, I'm not saying that it's work. I'm just saying, like, we all do things in a certain way. Right. It's like, can you do it the other way, is what this is saying.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I have the Seven of Air as well, Seven of Swords for Scorpio, so another repeating card, and the Eight of Water, and the butterfly card is self-employment. Speaking of, putting your 2 weeks in. And yesterday I did the July readings for everybody, and Scorpio was the standout reading. Like, everybody else's reading was really similar. Scorpio had so much air or swords cards. I was just like, what is going on? I was like, Scorpios, you guys got to tell me what is going on. But one of the big things was kind of letting people catch up with you, just a little bit like the Aries, but it's like the Scorpios know, like 99.9% of the time, you guys know the right answer, but everybody else is not really like on the same page with you yet. And it's like, you got to give them time to catch up with you. And if they don't ever catch up, it's time to move on. You know what I mean? And I think that's what you were saying too, about like kind of putting your 2 weeks notice in. Like, look around at the people in your environment. If they're not getting it, they just won't get it. Like, is it better for you to move on? And so I just was floored by that reading for them yesterday. I almost was just like, I don't even know what's going on. But at the same time, it was showing that the Scorpios need to really trust their own, that they're right about stuff, self-employment. Okay. So go move on to the group of people who do listen to you, the people who do catch up to what you're saying and actually honor what you're saying. Because I like to say, like, a lot of times Scorpios there will be like 10 people sitting around a table for an hour arguing, oh, how do we fix this? How do we fix this? And the Scorpio will walk in and go, do that. And they're like, oh, whoa. But then a lot of times then it's like egos. Oh, we don't want to do that. That's too easy. That's too much. And so then the Scorpio gets frustrated because it's like, look, I love you guys. We're trying to help you out here. And I feel like that's what this Eight of Water card is like. Who in your life or what in your life are you doing where it's just nobody is responding to the amount of energy you're putting into it? So you might want to think about shifting that before the end of the year. What's coming up for you with those cards?
Nothing with these cards, but well, I mean, your cards, yes. I always get the Ten of Wands for Scorpio, and I'm always saying like
Mm,
they have to be careful of like the burdens that they're accepting, and I mean that would make perfect sense. Like I never thought of it like you just described it before, so I think those are the burdens they probably have to release, right?
right, right. It's like if they're not gonna get it, they're not gonna get it.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I love it. All right. Let's move on to the Sages.
Sagittarius, new deck for Sag.
All
So let's
right.
see. Um,
I'll switch decks too.
Sag, you have the Justice card, the Page of Cups, and well, you do have the Page of Cups, but you have the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Cups here. And so the Justice card is balance. I feel like this is one person, by the way. If you're attracting love, I think this is a person who might be well balanced between these two energies. But I also think this is asking Sagittarius to balance these two things out in themselves, like money and love. And love doesn't have to mean a person. It could mean doing things that you love. As a matter of fact, all your readings, Sagittarius, that I've been doing for like months, I've been saying that Sag needs to get back to their like happy-go-lucky self. So, this doesn't have to be a person. That could be part of it. That could be one part of it, right? That's like only one thing that can bring fun. But I think you need to balance money and love. Really, that's what I feel.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's been kind of an overall theme I've seen for Sages this year. They have the Awakening card, which is also the Hanged Man in this deck. We have the King of Air card or King of Swords, and we have the Leaving card, which very much validates what I've been seeing for Sages. It's not that you're leaving like a relationship. It's that you're leaving a situation that's not allowing you to grow. So it could be like I've seen for a lot of Sagittarius is you're going to start working from home so that you're not constantly interrupted by your coworkers, or you're going to start shifting the focus of your business and moving away from something you've always done into something you've always wanted to do. And the Hanged Man approach, I feel like with the Leaving card, is just a little bit of this, like things have slowed down for you a little bit, and it's making you have clarity around the things that you don't want to go back to. It's almost like if you've ever gone on vacation and realized that when you got home you were going to have to put your 2 weeks notice in, it's just no way you could do that anymore. I know I've had that with not necessarily jobs, but like perspectives on a project. Like, okay, I can't do this. I need to change this, because you get that new perspective. So I feel like take advantage of the energy right now. Sagittarius is kind of slowed down a little bit with the Pluto retrograde and all the other things we have kind of starting to retrograde. Take advantage of that standstill, this card, to say, okay, what do I not want to go back to? And I do think by the end of the year, you will be leaving some sort of situation behind. And with this King of Air card, what it's really going to do is it's going to give you that opportunity to communicate the things you want to communicate. If there's things that you have wanted to share with the world creatively that because of the situation you're ultimately going to leave behind by the end of the year, finally, it's like now you can embrace this King of Air card. So anything else coming up for you with that, Chris?
Yeah, I think you pretty much nailed it with Sag, because I think that, a lot of them have either been forced out of work or just can't tolerate it any longer. And, every Sag, I have a bunch of Sag friends, weirdly enough, and they all do their own thing. They all either have a side hustle or they completely have their own business, which is weird. But, I think a lot of Sagittarius people are going to be pushing that direction. But it reminds me of there's like a difference between you can have a career and think that it's secure, but then you can also build something on your own that brings true security. It's like never in a million years would I think I would be doing this and be, I could be perfectly financially secure doing this, like reading pieces of paper with pictures on them. And that could be a realization that you could be having, Sagittarius, is that, there are things you can do that you never thought you could do that could be more fun. And, that's probably what you should be doing.
Yeah, and there's actually an audience there for it too. I mean,
right.
You did have to kind of wait for them to wake up, but they really are there waiting for you to embrace that energy. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, Capricorns. My rising.
Damn.
Let's see your energy.
I was going to say, damn, Capricorn, this is good. You have the best one today. You have the 6 Wands, the Ace of Cups, and the Ace of Swords. So definitely could be some sort of victory coming. I mean, I think it's time for Capricorn to have a victory for a very long time. So, wherever you've been trying to win is what's going on here for Capricorn. I think that Capricorns need to definitely get more into the flow with the Ace of Cups. Like anything that can create, more flow in your life would be a good idea. Things that create resistance, I would remove those things. I think I'm always talking to Capricorn about, creating the slip and slide of life. Anywhere there's friction, remove it so that you can make things smoother. And Ace of Cups, sure, could be love, but really it's about flow. The Ace of Swords is a victory. It's above the mountains. So I think Capricorn's definitely due for like a victory, literally. Two of those cards at least represent a victory in overcoming an obstacle.
Oh, okay. Well, I like hearing that. I have the Queen of Fire, which I feel is also a really good energy for Capricorns for now for the end of the year. And what I'm getting off of this is just like you've been holding back a little bit in like really showing your light to the world, like really showing your creativity. Now's the time. You have Jupiter in your 7th house of relationships right now. You're going to be meeting new people, new collaborations, new things are going to be going on, and you're going to realize like, I've got to put this out there in a bigger way. And I like how you always encourage people to go listen to their opposite signs to kind of learn that energy. I'm forced to do that as a Cancer Sun Cap rising. But it's true. It's like maybe you need to also add more adventure to the way that you share your creativity. And with the 2 of Air card, this is about making that choice to do it. And I know a lot of times you talk about the 2 of Air being like there's a third option you're not considering. I do think that's where you could be more adventurous. Like the third option is somewhere in the adventurous side and being willing to try something different. And then you have the Seeking and Finding card here, which I really love this card. I feel like it's also like you really have to ask yourself, why haven't I tried this before? And what really is the risk? Let's just do it. So I feel like between now and the end of the year, you're going to be challenging yourself on higher levels, things that you didn't even realize you were capable of, and maybe you were holding back just because it's not. We talk about this with Capricorns too. You guys like to do things by the book because it's just what works, but now you're doing it differently, and the world is going, whoa, where did that come from, Capricorn? So what else is coming up for you with those, Chris?
Yeah, I've been feeling that for so long for Capricorn, that like the way that they think something is going to go is not like, but that should excite you, Capricorn. It's like, whether it's love or money or your business or something you're doing, it's like things probably could be a lot better than you think, but it's not going to happen unless you do it. So I think that's the thing for Capricorn, right?
Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah.
Okay? And we forgot to mention the new moon, so I'm just going to keep bringing it up, you guys. Now is the time to start, so that by the end of this year, you're like, wow, I'm glad I started that on June 25th.
Yeah.
So, all right. So what do we have for the Aquas? Aquarius.
Aquarius, you have the 3 of Swords, but you have the Wheel of Fortune and the Sun, which is pretty good. It's like turn that frown upside down, right? This would be like things improving, things getting better for you and healing. 3 of Swords, there could be something about forgiveness, coming up for you, Aquarius, where you have to like let something from the past go. But Wheel of Fortune, you show up on the Wheel of Fortune right here. So you definitely can control the wheel. Sun is literally, this would be saying to get the wheel to turn in your favor, you have to focus on happiness, right? So that's what I'd be doing. And your inner child, like not taking things too seriously. We have this wall back here, and it's like the wall, those moments where we say, oh, I can't do that because it's childish, or it would be too playful, or I would have too much fun if I did that. Those are all the things that you have to do with the Sun.
Yeah. That makes sense. And I cannot tell you how many times this year I've gotten the Lovers card for Aquarius. It's almost like getting old, you guys. You're meeting someone new, you're falling in love, you're getting married, engaged, you're falling in love with a new home. There's so many great things, but it's also been a little bit of a challenge. I mean, you have this 8 of Water card here as well. And I do feel like you've known you needed to move away from something, some kind of relationship dynamic, some kind of cycle, some kind of group of people that you've been working with, and it's just been hard. It's been hard to take action on moving away from this dynamic. But you do have this support card here, Aquas, and so don't forget that you have a lot of people who rely on you because you're so smart, you're so innovative, you're the knowledgeable one, you're the ones people tend to go to. Like, I can't get an answer, can you help me? Which is awesome. We need you guys, but also you deserve support too. You deserve support in moving on. And I have also felt this energy coming through that if you can take action right now to move away from that energy, but when you look back at the end of the year, I think you're going to be like, thank goodness I made that move. So is anything else coming up for you for the Aquas with that?
Yeah, definitely. I think they should be making moves. I mean, Wheel of Fortune is all about moving in the right direction, but you have to make the move. You have to take control with the wheel. And this could also represent facing some sort of fear or something that you have like a little bit of a fear of. We have the snake here. Snakes are
Hmm.
guardians of portals. Snakes are fears. So like everything you want is on the other side of some sort of fear. So don't be afraid of fear.
Yeah, absolutely. And did you say we're in the year of the snake too? Did you
Yeah,
say
we're in the
that?
year of the snake
Yeah.
as well. Yep.
I love that. Yeah, so that's probably why we just are constantly getting transformation, transformation,
Yeah,
transformation. I can't believe we're already at Pisces. I didn't even feel like we
I
were going
know.
that fast. We're just knocking them out. What do you get for Pisces for the rest of 2025?
Pisces, you have the King of Swords, the Temperance card, and the Death card. So more transformation right there.
Mm-hmm.
And but Pisces, I get like too serious of an energy here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like not bad. Like there's nothing wrong with these cards, but I think that you should be also more playful, have more fun. Devon
Mm-hmm.
just said this to me this morning, so there you go for Pisces. And the other thing is it's like the Temperance card. This is a crown right here. This is the path to glory, and this is what's popping to my head for Pisces. Like there's a change, there's something you can have right now, but it's like you keep delaying it.
Mm-hmm.
And so none of these cards would represent that, but this is like literally saying to me that you can go and get your crown right now. Like what's the delay? And
Yeah.
that's what I feel for Pisces, is that instead of like saying like, oh, I have to wait for this circumstance, or I have to, do this. It's like, no, just do it now.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I did get a lot of that energy for you guys for July, but I still feel it for the rest of the year. I mean,
Mm,
I have the Ace of Air card here for you
mm,
guys, which is Ace of Swords, King of Earth or King of Pentacles, and the Decisions card. So what first came through when I saw this card is you just have to decide you are
mm,
going to make it a priority to have more fun, and then take the action on it, invest the time and energy in having more fun. And then the Ace of Air, the brilliant new ideas. I just think that there's new ways of approaching
mm,
the things that you consider fun. And you just haven't tried it yet because, you've basically been feeling like, you didn't really have the time, or again, I was getting that for a lot of Pisces about, well, when the kids are off to college, or when
mm.
when I get to next year and I have a little more savings or something like that. But this King of Earth card is saying, go ahead and invest now in having more fun, because that's actually this similar to investing in your health. As long as it's life affirming things, you're investing in your mental health, your emotional health, and your physical health, by making sure that there is that balance there. And that's what the King of Earth is able to do, both manage all the different levels of resources there. And so I definitely feel like decide right now with this new moon energy that to take your level of having fun and getting out there in a bigger way to the next level, so that again, by the end of the year, you're like, I'm so glad I did that in 2025. Anything else you're getting?
Yeah, and I think with the Death card, sometimes I feel, the king is dead here, so it's like something established that's really hard to let go of because you've been doing it for so long. And so I think that for Pisces as well, it's like, but this will of course be one of those things where you'll realize it in the future. Like if you're holding on to a job that no longer serves you, or a person or a thing, it's like you might not realize it this second, but I think in the future you're going to realize that you just held self back for too long. So again,
Right.
don't. I would make the change now.
Yeah, absolutely. This is such great energy. When we
Mm,
decided on this topic for today, I really wasn't thinking about the fact that we had the new moon, but
yeah.
it is so great that you can start right now, making the changes with the readings you're getting here, so that you
Mhm.
have that opportunity at the end of the year to look back, and really you're giving your future self a gift by starting right
Mhm.
now. And then you're going to have that opportunity at the end of 2025 to say, look how many things change in such a short period
Mhm.
of time. So I think it's really positive energy. But like you said, with Uranus going in to Gemini on July 4th, it is expect the unexpected. So we're going to go
Yep.
higher with our thoughts, right? We're going to go higher with everything we're doing, because that way we're not allowing outside influences to dictate our future. And
Yep.
I also think, have you heard that saying, don't allow other people to live rent free in your mind,
In your head? Yeah, of
in your
course.
head? It's also, don't allow like topics and
Yeah.
news headlines and like all this stuff to just do that, right? Because it does affect your frequency.
I say it all the time. That I think I've been saying it for years. I think between like now and 2033, there are going to be a bunch of people who just like worry. There are going to be other people who do stuff. The people who worried are going to look back on between then and 2023. They're going to look back and be like, I did nothing except worry.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
yeah,
don't be one of those people.
yeah. Exactly. Yeah, no, I completely agree. My dad had his 75th birthday on Monday, and I got him a cameo from
Nice.
an amazing guy, the actor Robert Hayes from Airplane.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Airplane?
Maybe a long time ago.
I'm dating myself, but my dad is a pilot, and so we used to watch that growing up.
Nice.
So this is nostalgic, but he played the character Ted Stryker, which is hilarious. But anyways, it was so fun to watch him watch the guy
yeah.
do the cameo and him like relive it. And he was like, wow, like I this is such an experience, because he's one of those people where you can't give him a gift because he already has it, or he just doesn't want to collect the stuff, So it was a fun gift to give him, but it was more about the experience of it. And he was like, wow, I was kind of dreading this birthday, but this just like shifts my perspective on everything, to see someone else who's actually a couple years older than him doing something so fun, like offering cameos, and he's looking great. So it was a super fun one. But yeah, I think that's the key thing there is just look for the people in the world who are out there continuing to create, continuing to follow the things that they enjoy, no matter their age. And I think we'll be glad we did, like you said, in 2033. Yep. So what's the big thing about 2033? Is there a transit? I don't know off the top of my head.
It's just like the day that it's been popping into my head for years. 2033.
That's so interesting. 33 is one of my favorite numbers. So
there you go. Yeah.
Well, you heard it here first. 2033 from Chris Reck.
There you go.
Which I forgot to mention at the beginning. Maybe that's why we were flying through it. I cannot thank you enough for everything you've taught me with my YouTube channel and everything. And so if you guys are interested, go check out chrisreck.com so you can get started taking your YouTube channel or your podcast or your book to the next level. He has all these exercises to get started. I'm a dent maker. I'm in his dent maker program, so I get to be a guinea pig. And yeah, you challenge me, you do your challenges and then you have this great group of people who support each other. And I want to thank you. You were the one that inspired me to just keep. Yesterday I did a 6-hour and 40-minute live stream with a few 5-minute breaks here and there in between signs. And I really I don't know that if I would have done that if I hadn't had the opportunity to learn from you and just keep up leveling. So I think, my grandma used to say it's hard to shoot a moving target. And so if you keep moving, keep growing, you're going to rise up out of whatever energies you're seeing on the headlines and around you. Don't you think?
No doubt.
Well, I love that. So we got to do our collective reading here, our bonus reading. And do we want to first reveal the mystery cards? I guess everybody, if you haven't already, quickly write what you think these cards are, Chris's cards and my cards, in the comments. These are going to bring clarity to the bonus reading for the collective we're about to do. All right. I think that was enough time for everybody. maybe not. Hit pause if it wasn't. What do you got, Chris?
Really good cards, 10 of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. So, the Ace of Cups was the first card I pulled for this. So, Ace of Cups is like your emotions overflowing, being very happy. 10 of Pentacles is exactly what I think everybody should be doing, which is building, leaving a legacy at this time, that could be anything for any of you. So, it's about building that dream life. And, even if you never achieve it, it's about doing it anyway, trying anyway. And that's what I would do with those cards.
I love that. Yeah. Well, the first card I pulled was the Knight of Water. So if you wrote Knight of Cups, that counts. This deck just uses the energy there. And I also pulled the Renewal card, 20, which I guess that's the World card, right? In tarot. So
Judgment.
Oh, sorry, Judgment. That's right, Judgment.
Yeah.
So
I was like, wait a minute, no.
No, we've already talked about the World card. I don't know why I said that. So Judgment card. So if you wrote Judgment, that counts too. Congrats, you're so intuitive. But yeah, I definitely agree. I think this is adding to that topic we were just talking about. Just keep learning, keep growing. Keep doing the things you love. It'll help raise your energy. And so let's I guess pull some cards for the collective and see what clarity we can get from those.
Yes.
What are you getting for the bonus message, the collective?
For everybody here, we have the 3 of Cups, the 4 of Wands, and Judgment. So there you go. So the Three of Cups, it definitely could be some reunions going on here. Like a lot of you could be like reconnecting with people. I feel not even just like in love, but just for fun, and
Mm-hmm.
people that you haven't seen in a while, which kind of makes sense. We have this Mercury retrograde coming up, so
Yep.
that would make a lot of sense to me. But I also think that a lot of you could be committing to like things on a deeper level, which I
Mm.
fan of doing this right now, which is I think there's a lot of back to the drawing board energy where people could be revisiting old ideas, making them like upgrading them a little bit, making them a little bit new, and committing to whatever that is, like business, your health, something in your life, and doing that could help you like discover your purpose. So I think a lot of people could be doing that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, since I did have for the surprise cards, I had the renewal card too. Like you said, it was like, maybe you're renewing a relationship or you're revisiting an old one. But I also was feeling like this, like new energy, like maybe there was something you put down in your past. You put down a project, you put down you wanted to take a lesson, you wanted to learn something, you put it down, and you're going to have this renewed sense of wanting to try it again, but like you said, in a new way, because of course Uranus going into Gemini, that's innovation, it's ideas, it's communication, and there's going to be easier ways to do it because we've come so far with our technology. So I think a lot of us are going to be picking things back up. I have the Six of Air card, of course, so that's moving on from things, right? Literally there.
Yeah.
And then I have the Ten of Water, really, really positive there for the collective. And then I literally have the moving card. So again, moving on from something. But, I think some of it is going to be, like you said, with this retrograde energy, really getting clear about the things that I can't remember what sign you said it for, but it's like in the future you're going to be like thinking back about something that happened in a relationship and be like, oh, that's good. Do you remember what sign it was?
That was one of the last ones. Was it Pisces or Aquarius?
Oh, maybe it was Aquarius. I don't know. I don't know. I just know that
I don't either.
I feel like you're right. Like I feel like there's some times like I had this random memory. I haven't thought of this guy in years that I dated in college. And I remember being in the car and him saying something about somebody that we were driving past, and it was like not nice at all. And somehow I had buried that memory. And looking back on it now, like we obviously didn't end up together. And I was like, golly, how did I not see that red flag there? I am so glad that didn't work out. But at the time it was like, how did I let that go past me? Like it was so mean. And now I'm like, I think a lot of us are going to start doing that with this energy, especially with Uranus and Gemini. It's like, this is a deal breaker for me. If people are responding this way, they're fear mongering, they're, calling me up and wanting to just dump all the negativity on me. That's a deal breaker for how I'm spending my time and energy. So I do think, just like we said for the Aquas, I think all of us may find ourselves moving on from associations, groups of people, but you may also at the same time be really digging in deeper with the emotional relationships you care about, like you said, like people from the past, visiting family, and all those kinds of things. That something that really is emotionally valuable to you, don't you think? Does anything else come up for you with that?
Yeah, it's like people are like setting themselves free, and the Four Wands is a final decision. It's like once you cross through that threshold, you're never going back. So like those wake up things. That to me, it's funny when you said that about your boyfriend, because Stephen Forrest, the astrologer, I was watching something with him like years ago about Neptune and Pisces, and that's literally what he said. He said Neptune and Pisces, like imagine you're driving down, someone is driving down the side of the road. They see a person they wouldn't normally like on the side of the road with like a tire that's deflated. But during Neptune and Pisces, they might pull over. They might change the person's tire and be like, I don't like that person. But it's like they did it anyway. And it's like that. He meant it in like a good way. I realized that your story was in a bad way, but it could go both ways.
Right.
It's like where we are like kind of like moving past these, traditional beliefs or these things that we were raised to believe or always believed, and we're never going back. So yeah, there you go.
Which that's a relief to me to be finally rising up out of that. I think it's really held us back as a collective, and it's really taken a lot of people have given their power away too much. But it's also, they didn't even know they were giving their power away because of belief systems and structures that were put in place, So I do feel like this huge collective raising between now and the end of the year, but I still think we have a couple more years to go, at least, like you said, maybe until 2033. So you're in the right place. Surround yourself with the people that are like you and the people in the comments and everybody here who are keeping their eye higher on the future, where it's like, you know what, we are actually making progress. Because you mentioned Neptune and Pisces. If you look back into 2012 to now, we have made progress. We have made progress. There's a lot of deception out there. There's a lot of distraction out there. That's what Neptune and Pisces was too, distraction.
Yeah.
So now with Neptune and Aries, hopefully we're going to just see, a new way of identifying an illusion versus, succumbing to it, I guess.
Well, and thank God Saturn is there. I mean, I think what we'll see, I said this the other day, I think what we'll see is a lot of this flip-flop stuff where it's like, Trump said that they called the ceasefire, and then they said they didn't, and now they say they are. And it's like, to me, this is very like Saturn, Aries, Neptune, Aries at the exact same time. It's like the illusion is dissolving from Neptune and Pisces. It's like we're still under a little bit because like Neptune's going to go back to Pisces. I think that's what I see. But it's kind of like, it's like they can't even lie anymore. Like I'm not making a political statement. People always come at me like, I don't support any of them. I want them all in prison. I think they're all reptile aliens. I'm a crazy person. I think they, so that's what I think. Right. But what I would say is that it's like, no matter what side, it's like, we're going to see that where it's like they say something, it's like a lie, and they're like, oh, actually, that's not what I meant. I meant something different. I meant something over here. So I think we're going to see a lot of that, moving into Neptune and Aries.
Definitely. It's the flip-flopping. And I mean, Saturn is the disciplinarian that says, wait a minute, what did you just say? Let's fact check that. It's like, it's back and forth. And so you're right. I'm very grateful to have Saturn and Aries at the same time as it's moving in there. Eventually it will move past it. So we'll still have to learn the lessons from that. But the other thing about Saturn and Aries, because it will be there for quite a while, is taking your time with these changes. None of it's going to happen overnight, and you don't want to rush it, because that's when you fall for the illusion. Like you were saying, if you take your time and really be disciplined about it, it'll be worth it.
Yeah, and you have to save yourself with Neptune and Aries. So, always, I think the rushing part is like people will be like, oh, turn me into a robot. It'll save me. It's like, no, you have to save yourself. Someone asked me the other day, they said, when are the med beds coming? Like, meaning the medical beds where where you get healed. And I said to that person, what if we are the med bed? That's what
I love that.
Really, that is what we have to get to. It's like people think something is going to save them. It's like, no, Neptune and Aries is like, you have to save your own ass right now.
Oh my gosh. So, I love that you said that. Do. It's so true, because it really is about understanding that you really, there really are no shortcuts. People think there's a shortcut. But it's just a temporary illusion that they found a shortcut.
They found a shortcut.
It comes back around, and we didn't come here for shortcuts. We came here to grow and evolve in a foundational way. I completely, and I hadn't even thought about that too. But with all this AI and technology, I'm sure a lot of people are just sitting around waiting for the thing that's going to magically make them healthy, instead of just starting to take a walk every day and go a little further each time, like actually taking action. So you're right. It's putting action into it that we all need to remember. And so take a look at that between now and the end of the year. What's something new you can try? And I really think you're all going to be patting yourselves on the back. So let us know in the comments too if you're trying something new between now and the end of the year. I know I'm going to be trying some fun stuff too. So Chris, anything else you have to say about 2025 before we wrap up today?
I think that's it. I mean, I think the rest of the second half is so much better. I think it's going to be in some ways better, in some ways weirder, but whatever, right?
And I think kind of exciting. I mean, I'm excited for some disclosures to come out. I'm not sure how much we're going to be able to believe, what's going to be a distraction or an illusion, but it could be kind of fun, better than some of the movies out there.
I think I basically think if you think it's real, it probably is. So I mean, if it's fear and love, right? So it's like if they try to scare you and say the aliens are gonna suck your brains out or something, it's probably the government that's pretending to be the aliens. And so there you go. That's it.
Exactly. Go higher. Find the love in the language, and your intuition will tell you. For sure. I love it. Well, Chris, it's such an honor to have you here every month. I appreciate it. Can't wait to have you back on. And I'm wishing you and your entire tribe, that's always so great to be here, an amazing rest of the year. But of course, you'll be back. We'll have another chat soon. But thank you so much for being here. So thank you all. And we'll see you guys next month, and I'll see you on my next live. Bye, everybody.
Bye.